the order on early bird rules, Blumenthal, Whitehouse, Coons, and Hirono, and I note the presence of Senator Tillis. So at this point, it'd be Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to Senator Durbin for his leadership on this issue over many years, and all of us who have served at the state level. I served as State Attorney General for a number of years, as Mr. Merzwinski knows, are deeply grateful to you for your leadership. I'm just a country lawyer from Connecticut. And Ms. Carrette, I spent a lot of time on the road in Connecticut. I spent a lot of time in convenience stores and pumping gas, and I hear and see the anger of consumers when they go to pay for what they buy. I know that the credit card companies are not the only ones responsible for the skyrocketing prices at the pump or any of the other commodities. There are big oil companies, and we're gripped by their greed. They prioritize shareholder profits and keep supply constrained and drive prices higher. That's one of the reasons that I've helped to spearhead with Senator Whitehouse a measure called the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax Act, which would establish a tax on industry profiteering and lower consumer costs with relief rebates. But I am struck in your testimony that the vast majority of gas for American consumers has seen its fees rise by as much as 26.5%. Consumers in Connecticut are hit by that increase in fees. 26.5% increase in a single year as they are struggling with these higher prices. Now, I understand that the card industry says that they've imposed a cap on those fees at $1.10, but that doesn't adequately protect consumers, does it?
So, Senator, it's a wonderful question, and you've asked, it's a very complex subject, as you know, because we're dealing with global economy issues. Specifically, what would you like me to respond to?
What I would like to know is how are consumers impacted by that 26.5% increase?
So as we all know, the retail price of gas is at historical highs right now, but that's directly related to the commodity market, where the price of a barrel of oil is also at historical highs. It wasn't so long ago that oil was at between $60 and $70 a barrel. At some point early on in the Ukraine war, oil hit $140 a barrel. Retail pricing in gasoline is one of the most competitively dynamic markets that I am aware of. And we follow street pricing, and the margins are impacted as the cost of goods go up. So do the retail prices.
Let me ask Mr. Cantor the same question.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. I think it's a really important question. Our members sell about 80% of all the gasoline across the country, including in Connecticut. We have some wonderful members doing that there. The Energy Information Administration has looked specifically at gasoline pricing, and they divided up the country into the different regions and found that there is 100% pass-through of both cost increases and cost decreases into the retail price of gasoline in every region of the country. And so these fees, without question, get paid by consumers every day. And I will tell you, 26.5%, it's an unbelievably high increase. Our members are reporting to us that this year their fees are up much more than that. We had a member we talked to this week, their fees are up 49% this year. This is completely unsustainable in an industry where we know people are upset about gas prices. And just by the way, for the retailers themselves, as gas prices go higher, their margins get smaller, and the FTC has documented this, but the fees get higher at the same time. We have members, literally some during the past few months, who have sold at no margin just to try to keep some market share.
the term has been used by the two officials from Visa and MasterCard that this market has never been more competitive, that it's highly competitive, but they're including in the market different companies like apples and oranges, correct?
That's exactly right.
And let me ask you, what can the FTC do in the absence of legislation? Can it act to try to foster competition?
The FTC has investigated and done some good things. For example, when there were problems with the way Visa and MasterCard controlled what was happening with the payment card terminals that accepted EMV chip cards, they've had some other open investigations about actions by Visa and MasterCard to try to block the competition on debit cards. So there's some things they can do, but they are limited because they don't have jurisdiction over the banking industry. The Department of Justice had taken some action as well. In fact, their antitrust division has perhaps brought more cases in the payments area than any other area over time. But as you know, litigation is hard. It takes a very long time. And it's really best at finding compensation for past problems. Really, Congress is best at designing, well, what's the way for the future to look in terms of having a competitive market that functions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Blumenthal. Senator Lee.